Heterocysts. Heterocysts are specialized cells present in the cyanobacteria that are responsible for nitrogen fixation. The nitrogen fixation mechanism is quite common in the bacteria, especially Rhizobium, but that is not a cyanobacteria. Here, in this video, we will be discussing about cyanobacteria and their specialized cells, that is the heterocyst. Hello friends, I am Mayantika and I have been making videos regarding the MSc Botany syllabus of various universities. Do subscribe my channel to get latest update of the videos I'll be making. And also I have put all the link to the videos that I have been making so far. In this part, the heterocyst video will be in parts. In the first part, I will be discussing about an overview of heterocyst, the structure of heterocyst, what are the conditions that either stimulate or inhibit the heterocyst pattern formation, and a detail about the heterocyst pattern formation, that is and what are the changes that will happen during the initiation of any normal cell to proheterocyst, and later from the proheterocyst to the heterocyst formation, and ultimately how a what happens to a mature heterocyst, and also economic importance of the cyanobacteria due to this heterocyst. And in the next part of the video, I will be discussing about the molecular aspects, that is the genes, the protein, the transcription factors that initiate, maintain, and are also that lead to the in the later stage of the heterocyst. What are the genes are responsible? That will be discussed in the second part of this video. Also, I'll be discussing the nitrogen fixing mechanism in the cyanobacteria in the later part of the video. So let's start the video. There is a small quiz before I start the video. Heterocysts are present in which type of bacteria? If you know the answer, please write down in the comment section, or otherwise if you don't know, watch till the end of the video. I'll be discussing this quiz at the end of this video. So before now we should be starting the video. Let's start the video. So for example, this is the heterocyst, and this is again one heterocyst, and the small cells, the chain of small cells, my drawing is horrible, but please mind my drawing. These the chain of few cells. This is the hormogonia. This entire part, this is the hormogonia that is present between two heterocysts. These are the heterocysts, and then we have heterocysts on when the when the heterocysts on both sides of the hormogonia, they are old, and they desiccate, they burst open, then the hormogonia is released, and thus the two structures associated with the heterocyst are akinete, hormogonia. Heterocyst can be formed just within 20 minutes if the temperature is 30 degrees C. And heterocyst, the main function is nitrogen fixation. Though we know that for nitrogen fixation we need nitrogenase enzyme, which actually fixes nitrogen, but this nitrogenase, it is very sensitive to oxygen. That is, it's degraded in presence of oxygen. This degradation is prevented by the various structures. For example, the thick wall of the heterocyst, the thick cell wall of the heterocyst, which is very specialized, prevents the nitrogen from the oxygen from entering the cell. Also, this heterocyst does not have the other oxygen producing mechanism. For example, the photosystem 2 of the photosynthetic pathway, the PS2, it produces oxygen from water, but here in this type of cells, that is a heterocyst, the PS2 is absent. And also the other oxygen producing mechanisms such as the protein synthesis or the phosphorylation, they are a bit altered. Also the glycolysis, the Krebs cycle, it is also truncated, it's not complete. So there are different mechanisms that are present, especially in the heterocyst, to protect the nitrogens. They are the mechanisms that are present in heterocyst that protect the nitrogenase are: number one, absence of photosystem 2, and then there is only the nitrogen fixation till glutamine phase, and then the glutamine is transported to the nearby cells where different type of amino acids are produced. And also the Krebs cycle, it is not totally present. It obtains it gets the carbohydrate, the ATP energy source from the cyclic phosphorylation, not linear phosphorylation. So the ATP is obtained from cyclic phosphorylation. And apart from this nitrogenase enzyme, we have the cyanobacteria, they have another nitrogenase, that is the molybdenum nitrogenase. So any cyanobacterial heterocyst will contain two type of nitrogenase. One is the normal nitrogenase, another is the molybdenum nitrogenase. This is the structure of the heterocyst. We see that the outer cell wall, this outer cell wall is quite thick. It is much more thicker at the poles than lateral. Lateral it is much flattened, but much thicker in the polar region. We know that all the gram-negative bacteria, they have much thicker wall than the gram-positive bacteria. So cyanobacteria is also a gram-negative bacteria. The entire thick wall material, it prevents diffusion of the oxygen in the through the cell wall. Also, apart from this above the cell wall, there is a layer of glycocalyx. Glycocalyx is a very slimy layer, and so the very top layer is glycocalyx. Next is the cell wall, and inner to the cell wall is the plasma membrane. We see that the plasma membrane is much more thicker at the polar region of the cell than at the lateral part. Also, there is at the poles there is polar nodule. This polar nodule is made up of a peptide called cyanophysin, that is also a storage product for the cyanophytes. All the cyanophysin plug or the polar nodule, it also prevents the diffusion of oxygen. Also, diffusion of oxygen is protected by the slimy layer that is present just outside the cell wall. And so we see that there is outer glycocalyx, then is the cell wall, then is the plasma membrane, there is polar nodule, and here it is here it is shown at there is two polar nodules. But if the cell is terminal, that is present at one end, there will be just a single polar nodule, and there will be say for example this is the cell, the somatic cell, so there will be just one polar nodule, and the terminal cell wall will just have the cell wall portion, not the polar nodule. So this is a intermediate heterosis, so it is having two polar nodules, and we see that there are thylakoids. Now this in this thylakoids, we can see there is in the thylakoids there is only PS1, that is photosystem 1, not photosystem 2. And the number of granular material in the heterocyst is also much less, and also the heterocyst have fewer type of pigments, that is it does not have phycobilin, it does not have chlorophyll, it have phycobilin but not chlorophyll. Now, the heterocyst pattern formation. Heterocysts are stimulated when the amount of nitrogen in the surrounding water body or damp soil is less. That is, they are in a nitrogen deficient situation when the ammonium salt is or nitrate salt is deficient in the surrounding medium. Heterocyst formation is much more stimulated by deficiency of ammonium salt than the nitrate salt. And heterocyst formation is also stimulated by red light, though blue light and green light does not have any effect on heterocyst formation. It has been found that heterocyst formation are stimulated by presence of iron and copper ions. However, cobalt, chromium, lead, and zinc, these are though they are these minerals are essential nutrients, micronutrients for the plant, but they do not have any effect on heterocyst formation. Now, heterocyst formation are inhibited by processes, metabolic processes like photosynthesis, respiration, and protein synthesis. And so, in this in heterocyst, these processes are bypassed. How? There is no photosynthesis in the heterocyst, and whatever photoassimilates that the heterocyst need, the carbon source, it is transported through the plasmodesmatal connection between the heterocyst and the neighboring cells. Now, plasmodesmatal connection, they are cytoplasmic connection that occurs between the heterocyst and the surrounding cell. So, through the plasmodesmatal connection, not only the carbohydrate source but also the amino acid that is produced inside the glutamine amino acid that is produced inside the heterocyst, it is transported to be converted to other type of amino acids in the neighboring cell. Also, photoassimilates from the neighboring cell enter the heterocyst through this plasmodesmatal connection. Respiration in the ATP synthesis is cyclic, so there is also no oxygen production in the heterocyst. So this the photosynthesis, respiration, and protein synthesis which inhibit heterocyst are totally absent in this inside the heterocyst soil. And if there is high amount of ammonium salt and nitrate salt in the surrounding media, this will again inhibit the heterocyst formation, because there is no need of forming a heterocyst when there is already high source of nitrogen in the soil or aquatic media where the cyanobacteria is growing. Now, this is the pattern formation. I'll be discussing the pattern formation of heterocyst. When somatic cell becomes proheterocyst, that is the immature heterocyst is started by the process is initiated by enlarging of the cell. The cell becomes enlarged, the walls become much more thicker, there is actually more synthesis of this wall material, and the wall becomes completely three layered. That is, the outer layer is fibrous, and the middle layer it becomes homogeneous, and the inner layer it becomes laminated. So this three layer, outer fibrous, middle homogeneous, and the inner laminated layer, they together they protect the heterocyst from oxygen oxygen diffusion. And also these cell wall layers, they just like other bacteria, they are lipopolysaccharide in nature. And during the heterocyst formation, initiation of heterocyst, the glycolipid and the acyl lipid production in the cells become much more accelerated, because this glycolipid, they are the basic cell wall material. When there is deficiency of nitrogen in the media in which the cyanobacteria is growing, there will be increased production of glycolipids in the cell wall, and there will be increased production of glycolipid and increased deposition in the cell wall. And also there will be more synthesis of acyl lipids, which are just carriers or intermediaries that will be needed during the cell wall production. And on the top of the or the outer to the wall layer, there is glycocalyx layer that can be either slimy or sheet-like or capsular, depending upon the consistency. If it is very it is it has much more water, then it will appear like a slime. It is concentrated, then it will form a sheath or capsule above the cell wall. So the outer lower layer is just glycocalyx, inner to the glycocalyx is the cell wall, and then there is plasma membrane. And the heterocyst, when they are formed, the somatic cells, they change color, that is, they become much paler. Due to this they become pale because absence of chlorophyll and phycobilins. There is also there is reduced amount of granular inclusions inside the cytoplasm. Also, the number of thylakoid, it increases, it becomes oriented towards the pole, and they appear like a honeycomb-like structure. And in this honeycomb-like thylakoid structure, we can see most of the cyclic phosphorylation, it occurs there. And but in order to form the heterocyst, cell has to dismantle three things. One is the PS2 of the photosynthetic process, then absence of Rubisco enzyme, and absence of Calvin cycle, because these three will generate oxygen that will be harmful for the nitrogenous that is needed for a nitrogen synthesis. So main function of the heterocyst, that is the nitrogen fixation, that is maintained because there is no photosystem 2 or Rubisco or Calvin cycle. The ATP generation in the heterocyst occurs by the cyclic photophosphorylation. In normal cell, photophosphorylation is both linear and cyclic, but here in the nitrogen fixing cells, ATP generation is just cyclic photophosphorylation. So we see that also the Krebs cycle or TCS cycle, it is incomplete, because if it will be complete, then the many of the products will be there which will in turn generate oxygen directly or indirectly. So in Krebs cycle is absent or incomplete in the heterocyst cells. And so we see that as this heterocyst is not a complete cell. It has only one function of nitrogen fixation. Otherwise, it has to depend on the surrounding cells for its nutrition. Also, the surrounding cells, they are dependent upon the heterocyst for their nitrogen assimilation, because the normal cells, they have photosynthesis going on, that releases oxygen, and this nitrogen fixing mechanism is sensitive to oxygen. So there is interdependence of the heterocyst and between the heterocyst and the somatic cells. In the heterocyst, we know that the heterocyst main function is nitrogen fixation, but heterocyst is not a complete cell, because it has to depend upon the adjacent cell for its source of carbohydrate, and also it fixes nitrogen in the form of glutamate or citrulline, and this glutamate is transported to the adjacent cell, where it is converted to glutamine or any other amino acids. So the transport of amino acid and transport of carbohydrate source is through plasmodesmata. Now, this how do we obtain this information? It has been observed by many scientists, especially they have been found by freeze fracture technique or cryo-electron technique, freeze fracture technique, and then there is the transition electron microscopy, or then also using the fluorescent protein called calcine, where calcine is added, and then transition electron microscopy was done, which proved that there was transport of amino acid as well as carbohydrate source through the plasmodesmata. The similar type of observation was also done in Anabaena oscillatoridis by use of high resolution nanoscale secondary ion mass spectrometry. There I actually missed one comma. It will be here. And also certain amount of nutrient is also transported through the periplasm. That is quite common in the gram-negative bacteria. Periplasmic transport is very common in gram-negative bacteria, cyanobacteria being one of the gram-negative bacteria. Some of the nutrient is also transported by periplasmic transport. So this is how a normal cell converted to proheterocyst, and the how the heterocyst function. And when the heterocysts become old and senescent, there is extensive vacuolation, and after extensive vacuolation, the heterocyst, it is lysed. And after lysis of heterocyst also, it benefits the cyanobacteria. How? By setting free the Hormogonia. Hormogonia are the chain of cells that are used as a that actually move away from the parent filament, and they form their own colony or filament at a separate place. Now, heterocysts also have some ecological and economical importance. What are the ecological and economic importance? They being the source or the site of nitrogen fixation, it has been used as a symbiotic mechanism by many type of plants, and we human are also benefited by this process. The coralloid roots of Cycas, a gymnosperm, contain nostoc, and the Cycas plant, gymnosperm plant, it provides the carbohydrate source to the nostoc, and the nostoc in turn, it produces the basic amino acid glutamine to the cycas, and the same type of symbiosis is also found between another gymnosperm, Guinera, and between Nostoc punctiforme and Nostoc muscosa. Same type of symbiotic relation also found between the sphagnum, that is a moss found in the peat. This bryophyte also depend upon the Nostoc species for its nitrogen fixation. Water fern Azolla also depend upon Anabaena azole, another cyanobacteria that has heterocyst, and this Azolla water fern or the sphagnum, it is dried and used as a biofertilizer, especially in the Southeast Asia, in the rice fields. First, before showing the rice, Azolla is cultivated, and then after desiccation and dying and desiccation of the Azolla plant, the amount of this Azolla plant acts as a source of organic carbon, also a source of nitrogen and source of ions, because it contains it has extracted ions, and also source of phosphate. So this Azolla plant containing this Anabaena azole cyanobacteria is used as a biofertilizer in the rice fields in the Southeast Asia. Now is the quiz. Heterocysts are present in which of the bacteria? So the first is Azotobacter. Azotobacter is a species that is found in some type of leguminous plants in the root nodules, and the second option is also Rhizobium, that is also a nodule bacteria. This Azotobacter and Rhizobium, they both are non-cyanophycean bacteria. They do not have heterocyst, but still they are the site for production of nitrogen. The first two options, Azotobacter, Rhizobium, they are site for nitrogen fixation, but nitrogenase, they do not have heterocyst, still they are site of nitrogen fixation. How? These Azotobacter and Rhizobium, the nitrogenase enzyme is protected by leg hemoglobin. Leg hemoglobin, it protects the Azotobacter species and Rhizobium species from oxygen. Because it actually blocks the oxygen from entering the nodule in which the Azotobacter rhizobium is present. Next is Anabaena. So by the end of this video, you have come to know that Anabaena is a very good source of heterocysts. Heterocysts are present in Anabaena, many species of Anabaena, and it's used as a biofertilizer. So answer will be C. And the option D, Mycoplasma. This Mycoplasma, though a part of bacteria, they are bacteria without a proper cell wall. So without cell wall, there will be again a problem of oxygen oxygen nitrogenase, the enzyme that is necessary for nitrogenous fixation. All the type of nitrogenases, all the type of nitrogenases, they are sensitive to oxygen. That is, they degrade in presence of oxygen. So the mycoplasma, due to the absence of the cell wall, they can't fix nitrogen. So and they do not have heterocyst. So the answer to it is option C, Anabaena species. With this, I come to the end of the first part of heterocyst. I have also made videos regarding algae and fungi and lichen. I'll be putting the description, the link of in the description box. And next part of the video, that is the heterocyst, I will be discussing about the molecular part and the nitrogen fixation. Thank you for watching this video, and share this video if you like, and subscribe to get latest update about the videos that I'll be making. Thank you once again.